I'm not sure if you've heard, but we had a sort of encounter during our last IRL meetup. He groped my thigh a couple times while I was sleeping. And he has now descended into a series of alt accounts that he's using to infiltrate my Discord server and my chat. And I keep banning them, but he keeps coming back. I think he might be on his eighth or ninth at this point. And I on the one hand, I find it somewhat endearing that he wants to be a part of the conversation so much, but on the other hand, I find it hard to understand. So I was hoping maybe you could help us work through this. And he's free to tell his side of the story as well. But
please, anything you want to correct or sustain?
Oh yeah, these are certainly all lies. The altar are because, well, half of the time she bans me, then her dad does it too. The context is that Ben drove us very graciously and desperately, like I was, drove us 15 hours from, I think, Rhode Island, wherever the hell they live, in Chirac itself, right? Now, this province had this lady named Lav. She's like 26, pretty hot, streamer as well, very haphazard one at that. Left her husband recently, apparently, is what the news is saying by The Wire. And he got mad because I was at a karaoke bar with Lav late night, and he was driving around trying to find us. And that's when we ditched him earlier. And so basically, he said that he wanted to fight me. I said yes. Trace walked it back because I'd win. Obviously, look at me. And then, in addition to that, he was saying that there was going to be red snow painted in this blizzard in Chicago, which is rather unflattering, you know, as a depiction, but it's the truth. And so he's had an umbrage against me ever since then. So he's banned me, as has Grace as an accomplice. Henrik Himmler to his Adolf, and so that's what happened.
now, see, Jack, Lalo is redirecting this towards my dad. I'm the one who runs my own live stream chat and my Discord server. I'm the one banning his alts. Now, here's the problem. The problem is he groped my thigh. I confronted him about it on stream. He apologized, kind of. I said, okay, whatever, move past it. Then he meets up with other people and tells them, oh no, we did way more. She sucked this. She did this with her hands and she loved it. I got very angry about that and said I was never going to talk to him again because it's one thing to do that. It's another thing to apologize for and then lie about it to other people. So we had that fight, and I told him I wasn't going to talk to him again. And he's, like I said, he's on his eighth or ninth alt account in my server and in my live chat. So it seems like he wants to continue interacting, and yet he doesn't want to apologize for his behavior, and he hasn't gone back on telling people lies. And so I'm just finding it hard to understand exactly what he wants. Because there's only so many accounts I can ban. It's not like I'm afraid of him. It's just like, what do you want at this point? What are you looking for? You see my problem?
No, I get it. And actually, that's kind of the question I was going to ask him before you showed up.
Really?
What is it you want?
Content. Conch. That's what people call it. You know? Simple as.
Is that the best use of your time and energy?
I've gone down this rabbit hole like 3 years. At this point, it's kind of too late. I'm dying, but
Who determines that?
the Lord, no, of me. I'm an adult, you know. I'm 22.
Yeah? Is it not time to do something, I don't know, substantial perhaps?
What do you do? Okay, wait a minute. That's a diss against me, her, Ban. Listen, this is kind of a hobby. Sounds like a goat, but it's true. I have a lot of other stuff going on. I'm eating. We're enjoying life, and you know, sometimes you want to go do a day trip, weekend trip, a week trip over to the snow. I don't see the fucking snow. It's a bunch of Mexicans like me, and I love it. But still.
Okay, so why are you attacking what's been working then? What's with the poking the bear and denying, manipulating? What's going on with that? Seems like if you see the benefit of what you guys are doing, you're having fun. I mean, I realize content is content, sure, but it's real people too, especially if you're doing something together. And it sounds like maybe trust or respect was lost.
It's a sad thing. Yeah, well, like I said, I'm willing to make content. They don't want to do it with me, I suppose, and that's up to her, I guess. I don't know what the problem is.
Is there a reason they should?
They get more views when they're with me, more money, more people are willing to meet them. The people that could finance here an RV across the country, a content house in New Year's, hot women like Lab or whatever, like that's
Well,
all
hang
through
on a
me.
second. Hang on a second. I'm not denying that Lalo is good content. I mean,
Sure.
that's why we met up with him so
Great.
many times. He is a great sort of lube for IRL events. Everybody likes him. He's easy to get along with. He's not threatening. Whatever. I'm not saying
Just
that.
fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's half of my recap video for this year's Thorp.
Only
content.
half? I saw
But
that.
the thing is that it's frustrating for me because on the one hand, I feel he did something that was fairly disrespectful, but could be forgiven if he apologized. But he refuses to apologize, and yet he still wants to be a part of my world.
Okay,
Why would here's my thing. Why would you want to interact with me if you say that I'm falsely accusing you? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I know what the truth is. I can move beyond it if he's willing to, but the fact that it's like, yeah, I groped you and what about it? I'm still going to be in your Discord on my 9th alt account. I mean, what is the psychology behind that? It doesn't seem healthy.
No.
Well, I apologize.
See,
I apologize.
what do you want, Lalo?
I just fucking said content, buddy. Apologize for not listening. Wow. Wow.
See, that sounds false. And
I have stilted speech.
Well, I was going to follow up with, it sounds like you found a lot of excuses. I think pretty boys do that. Pretty boys get away with a lot because they find a lot of excuses. But I can't blame them.
Right, toilet bowl earth.
You know?
Yeah. It's a bum.
I don't know where that came from. We do have Ben in the back. I've got some others in the back as well.
Ben. Yes, sir.
So is there it sounds like things have, that is part of the issue, but is there resolve or solution?
That's what I'm looking for.
Here.
That's what I'm looking for.
That's what I got. That is what I got.
Okay.
And so what might that look like from you, Lalo?
I'll apologize. I'll bring over some lilacs or I'll buy them there. I don't know what she wants. She can tell me. I don't know.
But for the future, I mean, to avoid this, so that we know lessons have been learned and accountability might be accepted, what can we offer? If trust is broken, we got to offer something, right? In order to do it.
I'll kill my best goat. I don't know. She can handcuff me to wherever I fall asleep next. I don't know. Just one arm, though. Just one arm. And a piss jug, okay? A new piss jug, too. Just saying. I'll pay for it.
More submission offers. That's an interesting
Gotta meet him halfway.
You know, I do like you. I get.
Holy shit, she said that.
He's funny. I'm not denying that.
You are.
I'm just saying I can't go anywhere. Like, I was expecting him to fuck off. If he's not gonna fuck off, okay, whatever. I can, like, I'm not that mad anymore. But it's like, where are we gonna? How are we gonna put this back together?
Right.
Because it's my dad is backstage. He says he has the answer to this. I don't know if he says he has a potential solution.
Yeah.
Let me welcome Ben.
Jack, how are you? Lalo?
Oh, good.
Hey, Ben.
Okay, I got a solution, Jack, because I heard you talking the other day about something which I personally find intriguing. And a lot of times, when I would just say in general, sometimes people don't know what they're looking for when they're doing something. And then when it blows back, like, they don't really know what they're looking for. And maybe, especially a younger man, it's not his fault. He's not sure what's going on. Because both Grace and I had the experience of saying, I don't think Lalo was really trying to score in the back of the RV with me right next to both him and Grace. I mean, that's an odd concept that you're going to actually, like, sort of reach the end that you're starting with. So, and I do think Lalo, as a young man, had a very close relationship with his mother. with his aunts. Isn't that true?
I'm
With
adorable,
young
but
women. With young
I was
women.
closer to my dad growing up than I lived with my dad.
Okay, but there was a lot of touching. You're Hispanic. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I had that experience with
The
my kids.
eyes?
There was a lot of touching.
Okay.
Well, there's what we call the human touch, which I understand that we say online. If someone says that, oh, we're talking about sex. No, we're not talking about sex. But in many ways, for this younger generation, Jack, I think that when we get to a certain age, our parents correctly, kind of don't engage in that kind of stuff. Aunts and uncles feel like, okay, like this is, but then there can be a gap if you don't, sort of have that closeness with friends, and then eventually, of course, people of the opposite sex, and so there's I think a hunger for the human touch. Now you have, and I would like to offer this to Lalo for both of us. You have a technique where you do a kind of self massage, as I understand it. You were talking about rubbing your thigh or something like that in a way, or you're working on getting something, and maybe Lalo could find a way to get the human
A
touch.
non-sexual orgasm.
Yeah, you were talking about the non-sexual
Right?
sort of pleasure, and I do that too. Like I
That's
go
what
like
it's
this, I massage I've learned how to do that. I don't need a woman to do that. You know what I mean? It's not a sexual thing, especially since my neck has almost become permanently like sore because I think I was like a guy who didn't need that, right? So instead of getting a massage or going to a chiropractor, going to a doctor, my neck is now like just permanently cricked. And I'd like to learn how to massage. And again, it's not a sexual thing. So I would ask Lalo, could that maybe be what's going on there?
I need to do a self grab.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, if you learn to touch yourself, like Jack says, a lot of what we look for in others, we can provide for ourselves. And we're not talking about sex here, but have you ever learned the art of self massage?
Well, we can meet up with Jack to discuss it further, but I will tell you is that
What about right here online? We try it a little bit.
I'm novice. Okay, but listen, I'm in concert with Pine Sap. I don't know if I can gratify those indulges or those compulsions too much, but yeah, go ahead. Fine.
Lalo, do you think that if I go like this and it feels really good, that is problematic for Pine Sap or anyone else morally?
For him, yes, he probably self-soothes the mantis, but I guess in your case it can be fine, and in mine,
no, it feels really good. We can, like, what about stretching? You ever stretch and it feels really good?
Yeah, my back and it just fucking springboards,
I just was in the bathroom and I had a bowel movement.
Nice.
It felt terrific.
Sweet.
I think that's okay.
What did you say about
Maybe.
your back?
What's that?
When I go like this, my back's really fucked up from wrestling, so it like goes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
Lalo,
You feel
maybe
that
the thigh
expand?
you were looking for, it could be your own thigh.
Well, hers are. I don't
Until
know.
it's
Mine are kind
appropriate
of
for
fat.
you to touch a woman's thigh.
Aw, what the fuck?
I think the
All right,
point is finding pleasure within the self instead of seeking pleasure outside of the self. And
Maybe
massage-
starting there.
yes,
Just maybe as a tool in the toolkit.
absolutely.
So if you're feeling the hunger for human touch or pleasure, it doesn't have to be just the one way in which men, like Lalo comes from a machismo culture. The one way men in that culture are told it's acceptable to get that is to try to have sex with a woman. And maybe there are other things that he can do. Well, he can be a little bigger than that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This
This is sort of wait,
kind of
Jack.
in line-
Could I just say one thing? This is sort of a pattern because Lalo actually played a voicemail of his girlfriend breaking up with him a few weeks ago, and she told him that she never wanted him to contact her again. This would be the last time they were speaking. I'm not saying it was the same level, but he has a sort of, I would say, repelling women in a certain way, maybe being too aggressive, maybe not really connecting with them as women, but more so as objects. And I think this comes from a red pill thing he's learned of saying that I have to sort of be the alpha. I have to see them as objects so they don't get one over on me. And I think that needs to be deconstructed a little bit.
Jack, can I tell you something about females? I'm gonna red pill us all here.
Please,
I have
please
spent the last
pause.
half hour
Please.
getting the hair out of this thing. People say, "Oh, women, they're so clean. They are filthy." Sorry.
People are a lot of work. Something you were saying, Grace, there's societal conditionings. Yep. Men have been misled. We've been given poor examples. And the thought came up, Lalo, Ben, Jack, right? Men, especially. I recognize this pattern recently in some of the characters I've been dealing with. Yeah, and if you consider we're all reflections of each other in varying degrees, I was like, what is the similarity between all of us? I want to speak especially to men. We need to be more aware of how we're coming across, right? And if we're not clear in what our intention is, if we're not grounded and present, especially, we may not realize how we're coming across, how aggressive or inappropriate. You know, I know we can do better. And the recent characters I've been dealing with were real reminders of that.
Snafu. Tommy?
No, but in the back, we do have some guests. I've still got El Perro, Modern Men Lost Again, and Panel Waste Management, a.k.a. Tommy.
Let's
He
go.
joined up again.
Let's go. I'm curious to hear what some other voices might have to say.
Well,
Personally.
all of these men have a little bit of a head start on Lalo, age-wise. And
Yes.
I think it's appropriate for a young man who's having some trouble. I genuinely don't see it as the way usually a dad would see this is like, you made moves on my daughter when she told me
Right.
not to. I want to punch you in the face. That's not how I feel about it. I feel like it's more complicated what's going on here. I've tried to like sort of pick at what Lalo's like sort of sexual persona is. He sees that as condescending. And you know that I'm calling him gay, which I'm not. But I do believe a lot of young men have a lot of confusion in this area. And so I would appreciate others maybe trying to put their 2 cents in.
Hey, welcome,
Hi, Landry.
Landry.
Because I don't think it's the stereotypical thing. You know, we're like you said, a pretty boy is trying to get my daughter, try to get her rocks off in my daughter, and I'm going to end up with a grandkid by a Hispanic
No,
loser
Right.
who's never going to pay the bills. That's not what's going on here, you know?
Right.
right,
It might
Your
look
daughter-
like that, but that's not what's going on.
right. Your daughter has a wisdom, and you know, things are not always as they seem, but at the same time, we got to be able to explain ourselves and be accountable to ourselves. And Grace, has anyone told you no fucker gets to touch you without consent, let alone when asleep? It's unacceptable. So that seems to be normal. I don't know.
Well, she obviously called him out on it
I
several
wouldn't say
times.
it's normal.
Good.
So
Yeah.
Hey.
no one said it's normal.
Right.
However, be aware, sincerely, you guys are young. What I learned in the experience of relationships, we learn about who we are. But if we're not paying attention, we're going to experience the same relationship over and over. Just
That's true, Jack.
different faces.
But Jack, you know, with a lot of these young people, they don't even want to even try it. So I'm not trying. I hate to be the guy who's like Lalo, just you know what I mean, to say like, oh, I got burned. I'm not even going to try it anymore because because these guys have video games and internet, they can just abdicate relationality altogether because it's too confusing, and I don't want that to happen either. You know, it's
We're
not
treating-
that scary of a world to touch others.
That's true. So is this
It's a lot
guy
of
like?
fun.
I'm confused here. I thought this was your like gay producer co-host.
Nope.
Lalo?
That's a bit. I guess that was a bit
No,
okay.
it's contrived. It's
Lalo
bullshit. I'm straight.
He
not,
is Lalo is Lalo.
Lalo claims to be straight. Others have
Okay.
questions. I do not judge.
Okay, so he's basically like assaulting you and then trying to get your attention, but you're like, well, he's my co-host. It's okay. And I'm just
You
confused.
sound gay,
as to-
actually. Are you gay?
I am gay.
He's a collaborator. He's a
Oh, okay, never
collaborator.
He's not a co-host, but he's a
collaborator.
collaborator.
Okay,
yes.
collaborator.
Like an IRL
Like the
collaborator.
Vichy regime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually don't want him to leave you alone. You'd rather keep the dynamic going forward.
Well, at this point, I banned him for everything. He came back with alts, banned him again, came back with more alts, banned him again. It's like we're 8 alts in, and it's like, okay, well, it's not like I'm scared of him. I
Well,
feel
on
like,
the internet, there's no problem. How
Yeah,
can you
it's-
grope someone on the internet?
No, yeah, as far as physically, yeah. It's just like, okay, well, our relationship has been broken by this,
How
but
about-
maybe we could put it back together, especially since he really wants to be involved. Like, okay, I'll listen at a certain point.
Or is that settling for something that's just okay? Fine, I give up.
I mean,
Good
I
boy.
sent out his college name and his real name in my Discord server. I contacted
Oh,
his parents. He got a little
Oh,
slap
my-
back for his behavior. So.
Yeah, he's
Goodness.
been he's got some
Hey.
pushback.
Oh my goodness!
I was very
Please.
angry. I was
Okay.
very angry.
Jack, can I tell you a funny story about that? She sent a letter. He's part of the College Republicans. She sent a letter to the College Republicans detailing this story. There are only 2 people in the College Republicans.
No,
Lalo
that's
is
not
the
true.
president
That's
of the
not
College
true.
Republicans.
That's not
So
true.
he
That's not
received
true.
the letter.
No,
and
no,
acted
no,
upon
no.
it.
The campus groups,
That is true.
group shows the president and the vice president. There's 48 members. Okay.
Okay, well,
Absolutely.
whatever. He was the one who received the complaint about
True.
him.
It's like I'm the dean of the school. I'm the dean.
It's like being a Russian and
that
complaining
one did
to
fail.
the government, and Putin gets the letter, and he's like, about Putin.
You know
You know,
what?
it's not going to go too far.
This is life. You could not write and imagine this stuff ahead of time. This is life. The
I'm
way
the
it
content.
unfolds, friggin' hilarious. Damn, now I forgot what we were saying.
We were talking about whether or not she
Oh.
wants this dude back in her life, right?
Yes, the future plans. Okay, one of the questions that came to my mind is, okay, so he's got a number of alts and he's persistent. What was driving it? What are you hoping to achieve, Lalo?
Content. Okay. We got a lot of good stuff the past couple weeks. I took up half of their recap, which I think was a little bit of it should have been more like 85% to be completely honest. However, that kind of shows that this is the impetus. Okay. You want to go travel? They've got Ruby, but they've been using her like a cow with like black nibbles, man. It's disgusting. There's like a bunch of blisters on the tit. And so I'm saying, okay, you got to milk that cow. That's done. December 15th. After that court case, big victory on the horizon for the Thorp side. Inshallah, wallahi, maybe that'll happen. Now, after that, what's going to happen? I have a lot of stuff on my docket too. I'll be in Dallas this Friday.
Why don't you go to the courtroom? That's public.
Did somebody say Dallas?
Yeah, I might be there, but I have a free
Fly
ticket
in.
to watch the
That'd be
Cowboys.
hilarious.
Maybe
But,
I
but
did
Jack,
that.
to some degree, I agree with Lalo in the sense that we are streamers. And so for him to give us what he calls content, which a lot of times is silly stuff, but as long as it remains on the level of silly, it actually is a contribution to us and specifically to Grace, in that if you had a nice person who's boring, it doesn't really help her career.
But where
know
does
what
it
I mean?
end?
True.
That's my question. Does it, if it keeps going to this extreme this quick, does it not have to go somewhere and then sort of explode?
Yeah, no,
And then it's
12
like,
more
oh,
years.
shit, it's too
Well,
far.
what we like the best are quirky people. Now we understand, like in a certain way, the internet pushes you towards like violence and police and that kind of stuff. We like quirky people who are just interesting, but not like just boring. You know what I mean? Because no one wants to watch someone just talk about the weather and things like that. There's got to be something interesting about, and there's so many of these people out here in the United States of America. One of the glories of our country, especially post-COVID, is how many people got thrown off kilter who are, interesting people. So up until that point, Lalo really hadn't done much that we would say like that crosses a big line, but that one kind of crosses. It's hard to
Well, so here's my
see how
question.
we
So
would just take that in stride.
yeah, so here's my question, right? So like, I'm not trying to be a Me Too. I'm not trying to be a feminist. I'm just saying I don't think it makes sense to meet up IRL with someone who's going to cross that.
Well, certainly not
boundary.
spend the night in the same hotel room or bed. I would say that is definite no.
For
Well,
sure.
Because then
yeah.
you're
So
implicitly
if what,
saying it's okay.
if what Lalo
Oh,
is
am I
angling
on?
for is another IRL collab, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if that's what he's angling for, but if it is, I don't see that happening. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys think that wouldn't be a big deal, or
Grace, you're the sluttiest virgin I've ever met. And I
Thanks,
sent a
Tommy.
number of lines to you guys saying, I went to Luma Tranny stream, and you never got back to me. So I'm going to match up what you're saying with Lalo here. Then I'm going to add in a spice of you raging at Lauren De Laguna for what? Traveling you how far to camp up with some guy you don't know. And then we'll finish it off with what you guys did to Ava. Because you've lost your way and you're horrible people.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about Ava the Gap, okay? No, she's chopped. Nope.
What did you say,
No.
Finn?
Whoa, thank you. The guy over there?
Wow.
I didn't do nothing.
Listen,
I'm accused of the exact opposite.
all we
Actually.
like sheep have gone astray. Ava was the only place I could go be real about things in my past.
109
and this
chats.
little slutty virgin whore came and ruined that. And she's
You know Ava
already
sleeps with
flown
black
as
dudes,
high
right?
as she's going to go on the internet. And she's back to Boomerville to try and recover whatever lol countess she can.
I don't run
fucking
Ava
like
off
you
the
guys.
internet.
And if it wasn't
I wish
for
I
me,
She's
had.
insecure. Ava's insecure
Just
because she
stop
can't
being
smile on
insecure.
stream.
the other David, they'd still be trashing y'all's name as incestual.
Tom,
You know why? You know why Tommy is an Ava champion? I am too, but he's an artist. She's an artist. I think Ava has a lot of potential, but I couldn't
Right,
get it. I'd like to
until
see her
you
come back.
literally
She's a
almost
normie,
just
she's
like
not a
in the
streamer.
first 5 minutes of flying her across the country, you guys had her calling her gam to get the fuck out of there. And what was it
That's
you
true.
said, Ben? No, it's not a bit. This ain't no bit. This is
That was Grace's
Thorp
fault,
House
though. That was
Chorus or
Grace's
whatever.
fault. She wound me up.
Slow down,
Fuck
please.
I tried to
Jack.
gorilla pimp her
Are you
right on
protecting
landing. I agree
liars?
that's incorrect.
No, I'm
And
protecting
Landry, I heard your options you laid out. You should fucking leave. Leave the Panelverse, Landry. It's not for you. You're just a fucking cuck, fucking confused ass nerd just looping.
No, sure. Who am I cooking for?
You are a cuck, and you got pedophile
Well, if
optics.
you're
That's
a
not Freddie
cuck,
Mercury mustache.
if you're a cuck, you have to be cucking for somebody, right? Or showing.
Yeah, you're
Good behavior
cucking
there?
to the audience. Just so what do you
Okay,
want? Do you
so
want
what-
man on the land?
what-
Should I sit here and inner monologue about what I'm confused
Looking for
about?
audience feedback,
You just
okay?
now realized last night, you just now realized a little thing I coined long ago called, hey, remember when I was fucking up? I meant to do that. That's what Moose was doing, right?
Yes.
And Flow State, I didn't make you regret bringing me up on your panel. I'm going to make you regret ever crossing me. You fucking piece of shit.
That's fine.
gay as
All
hell.
of you are.
I appreciate the kindness I got from you in the moment, even if you still wants to chew my kneecaps.
Did he leave?
He did.
You
got
got
that.
Proceed.
It's just
Tommy's a great guy, but he's
Well,
kind of a one-man show.
admittedly, if you can, when Tom learns to calm himself down, he'll work better with others, and he'll be a lot of fun.
He's like your
I
age.
get it. He's what?
He's like your age. He's like 40 something.
Nose chopped.
He's yeah, he's close to me, but
How old do you think? How old do you think he'll have to be before he learns that?
well,
Dad?
he can learn. He could learn very quickly because he already knows. He already knows what's right and wrong, and he's just got to accept it and stop fighting. It's the reality of us all.
Hey Jack, I'm trying to figure out your description says the love that you give is basically the same as the love that you receive. You know, there's a Beatles song. It's on the album Abbey Road that says pretty much the same thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? It comes at
I
the
know
end of a weird song. It goes, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. You know what I'm talking about, Taylor?
I have no idea, but you have a beautiful singing voice.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's
Well-
in there, but it's not like in a song, but I think it's like one of those weird little snippet things. Almost exactly, literally what you said. I think it is an interesting sentiment.
Well, it's what I found for myself. Seriously, it is what Jesus taught. If you're filled with love of God and everything God offers, loving each other, it's not so hard. You just got to find a reason to.
Are
But
you
I actually
possibly?
think that you will not receive in love that which you give here on earth. That's not. I don't think that's true. Generally speaking, you'll get porked.
God rewards in abundance,
I think
and
in the eternal life, yes, but not here on earth.
they come in different forms than what we might expect. That's been my experience. I've been rewarded, but not in the material or the love life or whatever. That hasn't happened yet.
Me too. I've never had a positive sexual experience in my entire life, Jack.
I could see that actually.
Well,
Brutal.
dude, it's because we weren't healed. We weren't whole. Once we become whole and heal, then we're capable of that.
Maybe
I
you
don't
guys
think I've
can
ever
heal
found a
each
woman who
other's
could really
goals.
handle me. I don't think I've ever found a woman who could really handle me. You know what I mean?
That's because you can't handle yourself.
No, I can, and I can handle these
Well,
hoes out here too, but
well,
they can't handle me. I'm too big for them, literally and metaphorically.
sure.
But I don't need I don't need a woman. I got 6 beautiful kids. I'm good. That's why I want to learn how to touch myself and to give
Dude,
myself pleasure. And I think Lalo could benefit from that as well.
Hey, I'm
here's
about to jump down, but my food got here. But I do have a quick question, Lalo. How long were you stuck in the friend zone before you got up the nerve to touch some thigh?
Well, would it be 3 years? I don't know.
Kidding.
It's a 15-year plan, folks. Anyway,
you know what? He typically brings a perspective that I hadn't considered.
what the host say?
Who,
Before I
Dusty?
scare him off.
Dusty does. It's fascinating.
Damn.
But under my understanding, once you get friend zoned, you can't really transition to just moving out of it. You've got to get yourself out of it.
Dude,
I don't
please
know.
realize there are no hard, well, there are few. I won't say no because I don't want to claim. There are few hard set rules for love besides
True.
honesty.
True.
Right? This is what I've realized. Life is short. You know, we get attached to people and things. And I went through my notches on the bedpost stage for a while. And there was some fun and craziness in that time, but it wasn't healthy. And it wasn't respectful of me. I could have shared a lot more respect for them.
Well, I think I've been trying to encourage Grace to go on these shows like America's Got Talent, The Voice, just to try out. Because even Jack, I think you would agree with me. Even if you fail, even if it's not your thing, it's good to put something together, try to do an excellent job, and actually just put it out there instead of saying I could someday, all this kind of stuff, right? Just like with guys, if you want a woman, get out there. Don't sit and talk to a bunch of guys about it forever. Get out there, fail. It's just failure, But anyways, I think Lalo is trying to. We've been practicing a song I just really like a lot. It's called "Say You Went and Saved the Best for Last." It's an old '80s song. It's like kind of Disney-ish, but Lalo is playing in the lyrics. It's about a woman who is saying, "You always used to come to me and complain about the guy, about the women that were failing you, and in the end, you came to see that I was the one you were looking for." Right, Grace?
Yeah.
You went and saved the best for last, and I think Lalo is hoping that he's going to be in that position. Now, I can't, you can't, even Grace can't know whether that might be true, though I doubt it. But it can happen that someone that a woman looks at as a friend for years, suddenly she sees him as what she's never allowed herself. Do you see what I mean? Because she always wants something that won't be satisfying. And actually, it's been right in front of her all the time. And that happens. That happens.
It's how life
Rarely,
works.
though.
It's how life
Rarely,
works.
though. Rarely. Most of the time, those guys end up just, taking the L hard.
We're living at a different time than the past. And truly, if we as, elders, if we incorporate some of the lessons we've learned and we share the lessons, we can help the younger generation avoid some of the challenges and difficulties. Although many of the youth, they're already seeing through the bullshit and they're wondering, why were you guys so deceived? Why were you guys so confused? How could you not do this? Right? So
the only thing, if you're going to play that strategy, what you do is you're the gentleman always. By saying, I'm going to try to act like these guys who you're complaining about, then you're never going to be the guy who in the end she looks to and says, this is what because now you're just being a jerk like the rest of them. So I think Lalo should revise his strategy at this point.
I have a whole notebook for it. It's my physics notebook, okay? But anyway, now, folks, I'm at 12%, so I'm at a restaurant and I can't charge it, so I'm going to have to figure something out. All right? But I'm a fan of yours, Jack, okay, big head? All right? Wow.
appreciate it.
I'll be back later if I can figure it out. What?
Please, I'm a fan of yours too.
Yeah.
With clarity, right? Once you find clarity on what your time and purpose is, you can still have fun, but you're going to get a lot less chaos, I think. How about that? A lot less figuring this mess out. But thank you for
Jack, can I just,
through.
before Lalo goes, can I just get your thoughts on one thing that he's been doing recently? He's found himself with a blind woman who's into her 40s or 50s in a kind of, a little bit of a sexual affair. Any thoughts about where that could be coming from?
My assumption, of course, is lust, and lust comes from an inner insecurity.
But why a blind woman? Why would a blind woman particularly appeal? Wouldn't it be that she can't see you externally, but she could see you internally? Something like that you aren't comfortable with the way you look or something? Which for Lalo isn't a problem, I don't think.
Right. And Ben, it could just simply be variety. But Lalo, what's your view?
Could be just random.
It's ironic.
Yeah.
I don't know what her view is because she doesn't have one, but no, it's just I know I'm equating with a shit ton of like cougars and moms against like
that's
driving,
funny.
All these types.
No one laughs at this joke. That's funny.
Thanks, Ben. All right. Anyway, so
even a blind person, I think, would say that's funny. I mean,
she laughs at my shit. We were at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and I'm like, "Hey, do you see the fireworks?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, okay. Anyway, so the point
she hears them.
Yeah.
They say about people who lose in one sense that they gain the others.
Ben.
He's never going to let me finish anywhere I want. Okay, anyway, the point is, pause. See, cock fucking confirmed. All right, so the point is that with the blind lady, it's one of many women that I'm equating with that are in the same age bracket, Tucker Carlson types, okay? You know what I mean? Like middle class conservatives, 50s. It's not because she's blind. It's in spite of it, kind of. She has free Parliament cigarettes that she keeps in her fridge
her in
for some
terms
reason.
of Tucker Carlson?
No, I'm saying like age bracket because I compartmentalize people. Like like my dad and you are the same age. Tucker's 56. Anyway, so Hitler died at 56. Okay, so my point being is that it's not anything special. It's not because she's blind. There's like a half dozen other ones you don't know about. Keep the hose in the dark. For the so.
Do you feel like it's a revisiting of your mother and her energy in some way?
They're not the same at all.
Okay, but I mean the age is similar.
My mom's 49, but okay, yeah, sure.
Well,
late 40s. Sure, spitting distance.
I find that a lot of people your age are interested in a double generational leap to date, which would look like daddy issues, mommy issues on the surface.
Okay, but it's not that. If she were 27 and not 57,
which works out great for
harder.
us, Jack. Let me tell you, it works out great for us.
I haven't slept with her, by the way. I promise. Anyway,
Well,
we just split a nugget. Yeah.
Well, you've slept with me
No,
in a literal sense.
I slept with other people too.
please.
Body count's not that high. Okay. All right, guys. I'll 10%. I'll talk to you guys some other time. Okay.
I do appreciate you swinging through. Thank
Adios.
you.
All right. Adios.
Take care, Lalo.
Grace doesn't seem. I might be misreading, but where are you at? I don't know that any actual resolve was found. Not clearly
I don't know
or
what to make of the guy.
but
He's like, I don't know. It's hard to stay mad at him. I'll be honest. It's hard to be mad at
sure.
him. He's an idiot, but like, I just don't know what he wants. I was hoping to understand.
I don't think he does.
I mean,
Jack.
he says content, right? So like, if he wants content, is he also looking for like another pass, or does he just want to do content? Because like that's what I've been banking on him wanting to do content, and it didn't seem like.
See,
it
I
last
think
time.
what
It's
Lalo
half
did
and
to-
half. I don't know.
I think what Lalo did to Grace was something that he felt like he should do, but didn't have any inclination to do. And therefore, it's hard for me to attribute the normal kind of like kind of inappropriateness to it. I think it's almost like he's watched too many things saying this stuff like about friend zone. Don't let yourself be friend zoned. You got to make the move. Be a dominant male. Be the aggressor, which is genuinely at times good advice, but not if you aren't that guy. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that's where the
Yeah,
issue
check
is.
your text.
I think that the only resolution allowable here would be for Lalo to actually make a sincere apology and move on with that context that there is no more relationship and that is not to be sought, and it's purely a business relationship for content. Because I think you both agree that you want content as well. He agrees that you're good for content. You agree he's good for content, but the sexual permissiveness is not allowed.
I mean,
I'll be
but she
back, Jack.
handled him. She handled him really easily. He was just like, for her, the problem was that she didn't sleep well that night. Not that because he's just not the type. Do you know what I mean? That's going to actually compromise you. Like,
Right.
if
So
she
that's
had
why
woken me
just-
up and said, this guy just did this to me, he would have just gotten my fist, and he knows it.
Right.
So
and
it
that's
wasn't
where
about that.
And that's where I think the sincere apology needs to come in, because I haven't heard it either. And I don't think anybody else has. Just coming up and saying, I apologize without any context. I don't take that as a good.
But don't you think I've always found, I always tell people, because it's very hard to get people to apologize. But in the original Greek context, all the word apologia means is explanation. And usually if you just explain it without, again, adding stuff that's not true, but if you just sincerely explain where you're coming from, that will do a lot of the work.
Right.
Because for both Grace and I, we were like, why? Why? I just want to know why. Was it because, the first thing you say is, like, were you trying to initiate something that would then lead to something else? And it's like, no, you weren't doing that. You weren't thinking that was going to happen. So what were you doing? If you were doing it for content, well, then just have us say you did that, and the next day we'll yell at you. I think Jack is onto something interesting, because Jack recognizes, I saw him say, that's interesting. You like being humiliated, right? Like, I think Jack finds that as a man kind of interesting. And I think it's okay. But I don't know if you got, at one point, Lalo was punched in the face by a guy. Not super hard because the guy was drunk, punched in the face, bleeding. And he actually enjoyed it publicly. He actually enjoyed it. And, so I don't know what you do with that, because I can't relate to that, but it's always the thing about it. The audience is fascinated by a man who likes being humiliated.
Right.
And as long as, it's within limits, like,
Right.
I'm not here to stop it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, though, is I'm of the mindset that men can do better. And content can be found with value. Doesn't have to be chaos or whatever. And with clear mind, you can create entertainment too with the value, with the content. But
well, I think it's somewhat, to me as a man, it's somewhat refreshing to find a man, because I would think the number one thing that men want is respect, like basic respect. And this is the opposite of it. And it's really easy to be around someone like that. They don't demand respect, and they actually like the opposite of it. I can't see that being long-term healthy, but some people have to get there how they get there. You know what I mean? Like
and I think you're on track with Lalo trying to find his way there. and
Yeah.
trying to take on the condition that he's an alpha when he's not an alpha yet. He's trying to act like it. So he's trying to listen to people that are telling him the alpha things that men do and trying to learn to be that man.
Right.
That makes sense?
But in a certain sense, everyone respects him in the streaming world for being willing to publicly humiliate himself like that. So in a weird way, I do respect that, because usually in streaming, if a man is disrespected like that, he's gonna immediately like never show up again. But he shows up for even more of it, and he does get covered by his stuff goes viral. So like in a certain way, as a streamer, it's the genius move to flip it and not care. But it's also, from a human perspective, as a man, hard to see how you can kind of live with yourself that way. But